Because I'm trying to get Playboy to bring it out as a film again, as a DVD.
Have they talked back to you at all? Have they given you any
They
response?
just sent a very nice little response saying that they received my letter and they received the book I sent. But I know for a fact that Hefner is very hands-on when it comes to this stuff, and he will write back to me.
Fox had a lot to do with it too, you know.
Really?
Yeah, it was Hefner and Fox.
Well, let me start right in the beginning. So you're recording this,
think.
Right? Okay, this is 1974. It's The Crazy World of Julius Vrooder, and it was directed by Arthur Hiller. And do you remember who was in it with you? I think Barbara Hershey.
Right.
I bet she was Barbara Seagull.
Correct. So they paid her a lot less for her name because you're paid for your name. I mean, if George Clooney was in a movie and he went by the name of George Baloney, he wouldn't get the $20 million. He'd only get $100,000.
Yeah.
Because it was his face, but not his name, and the name is everything. So.
You were Julius Vrooder, and you were a vet from the Vietnam War who was in a mental institution. Is that right?
No, I'm supposed to wait.
Yeah, right. It was right there on Wilshire Boulevard.
Right. Okay.
The VA hospital there.
So tell me what the film was really about. Was it an anti-war film?
You know, I have to look at it again. But
yeah.
It was a doctor, a nurse, and a bunch of soldiers that had problems relating to their either physical or mental state from wars.
Mm-hmm.
They were at the VA, and so we had George Stevens was World War I. Albert Salmi was World War II. I was Vietnam, and we kind of hung out. I don't really remember much about. Oh, he had he lived off the hospital grounds. He created a hooch. It was called Vrooder's Hooch. That was the original title. And a hooch is a underground hideout, like a spider hole, but a little bigger, like what they got Saddam in.
Yeah.
And so, evidently, in this movie, there was a little island space between the graveyard, Wilshire Boulevard, and the Federal Building. There's a little island there, and we used that as a spot where we built an underground place where he would go and felt more comfortable instead of staying in the hospital room.
VA hospital, West LA, where the big cemetery is, and so on and so forth.
In fact, my dad's dad was the head barber there for years.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, he was like the head barber there.
Arthur Hiller, major director.
Yeah, he had just done a really big movie called Love Story.
Right.
Remember Love Story?
Smash hit, sure.
It was huge.
Yeah.
And what a gentleman. He was just great.
He's still alive, by the way. I checked.
I just think he's losing his eyesight.
Yeah.
Some sort of problem with his eyesight. But
Canadian.
yeah, but a gentleman.
Yeah.
And I just have memories of him driving in a convertible, smoking a cigar, with a big grin on his face. Just like, well, Timmy, this is Hollywood. You know? He wasn't a big, tall guy, but he had high hair.
Mm-hmm.
But he just was very kind and very gentle man.
Do you remember...
he got rattled about anything.
Do you remember your female lead, what she was like working with her?
She had just had a baby. She was married to David Carradine.
Yeah.
And...
Barbara Hearst.
Barbara, yeah. And... I heard a little bit of talk. The producers were a little bit upset that she wasn't letting her use the name Hershey because they'd give more money or something like that. She had a little boy with David, and his name was Free. He was like 2 or 3 years old, and he was still nursing. So he'd come running in, and she'd break out of breast and nursing. All the grips and the gaffers. I think he took a crap on the floor. She just picked it up. It was kind of fun, you know. Yeah. It didn't bother me, but you saw eyes rolling. But she was very happy with it.
Yeah. And
So silly now that you think about
no,
it.
I mean it's interesting, but
Yeah, it was
the
wild.
picture comes from a novel. I forget
It
the
was a
name of the
book.
guy who wrote it.
Yeah, I met him. And, was it a book or just an original screenplay?
I think it was actually a book for
Was it? Vrooder
still out
Scooch?
there. Yeah.
It was called Vrooder Scooch.
Is he? So he was on set a little bit.
Yeah, I met him, young guy.
That's great.
And he was very excited. You know, his story was being made into a movie.
Right. How did Hiller? Have you ever worked with him since? Or?
No.
No. Did you ever work with Barbara Hershey since?
No.
No. Okay, so that's kind of interesting. And you were in 1974. You were what? 23 or?
Yeah.
23 years old. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And as you look back, you didn't have anything to do with Hefner at all, even though
He was inviting me to the parties
okay.
up there, so I got to go up to the parties, you know, and those were fun.
Okay, and tell me about that. Tell me about Hefner's
Well, I was
parties.
the first to leave, and the first to arrive, and the last to leave, because it was really good food, and the bunny mother was always really nice to me. And I liked the grotto, and I loved warm water, and I loved hanging out with all those naked girls.
What did you think of Hefner? Did you meet him?
Yeah, he's just very smooth, and just, you know, always had his pipe and his silk pajamas.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, he always had girls walking around with no tops on. Mm-hmm. Well, they had tops, but you get into the grotto and they didn't. And, you know, if you were really nice, they'd let you massage their breasts with baby oil. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Pretty
so,
cool.
Actually, do you think that Hugh Hefner was kind of a revolutionary in some way?
Oh, yeah.
Some people say he was.
Oh, yeah. He had a jet, black jet,
Uh-huh.
with a big white bunny on the tail.
Uh-huh. But I mean, he broke down a lot of preposterously silly things.
It was great. I don't know about the girls dressed up like little bunny rabbits. That was a little funny. I didn't understand that. But, you know, with the little ears and all that. But that was just something that he liked.
And people reading Playboy, he had great stuff on jazz.
I never read Playboy. I just looked at the pictures.
Beautiful pictorials.
The photography in
The
it.
photography was great.
Yeah.
Well, and the Vargas drawings.
Vargas drawings.
Is what always gave me an erection.
Yeah. You know, that came from, where the hell was that? Esquire. You know, like...
Those were hot.
You know, he started at Esquire.
Oh, I don't know anything about it.
Hefner started at Esquire, and he had these ideas, and they said, oh, that'll never work. So he said, well, the hell with it, I'll just do it myself. Okay. So, as you look back on the picture, the last time you saw it, do you remember anything about the premiere about it, or, you know...
I remember that the advertising kind of confused me. They had me lying in a...
It was a giant hamburger.
It was a hot dog.
Oh, okay, hot dog.
And I couldn't figure out why they put me in a bun with a bunch of mustard. I just didn't get it. I didn't understand it. I was like, why are they killing this movie?
Yeah.
Why are they making me into a Frankfurter?
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense. I mean, it's like, what's going on? Why a hot dog?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll go along with it.
Uh-huh.
You know, cool.
Would you categorize it as a somewhat anti-war kind of film?
Well, yeah, I mean...
It was sympathetic to the vets, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. I mean...
Yeah.
I mean, it had to deal... And it was somewhat comedic because... who was my doctor? I worked with him. He played Cheney when I played Bush.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Larry Pressman.
No kidding.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah, Larry.
So somebody from that film you actually worked with?
Yeah,
Larry.
I worked with Larry again. In fact, we hung out for a couple of days. I took him to Niagara Falls, and we got on the Maid of the Mist and went under Niagara Falls together.
Yeah.
Took a drive.
Did you have any conversations about Julius Vrooder after all those years?
No,
I mean,
but I think
funny.
I think it's a blur to me, but I must have done and said a lot of stuff because he looked at me and he just kind of rolled his eyes like, Tim, you or some out there or something. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah. Was that DC 9/11 that you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great
with
film.
Larry.
I mean, that's
that
a
was
really
with Larry.
major
He played.
movie. I mean, to go from That's My Bush, which is very funny.
Yeah, I was surprised they hired me. To tell you the truth, you know.
Yeah.
But it was a good opportunity.
Yeah. Have you seen Barbara Hershey since at all? Or?
No.
Yeah.
No, I've seen her in some big movies, though.
Just recently, they did a reprise of Last Summer, which was a film with Bruce Davidson.
Oh, Bruce! I saw him recently.
Really? He's a friend of mine.
Yeah, he's kind of gray like you too.
Yeah.
No, we sat next to each other.
He wouldn't like that.
At similar tables. Yeah. He was talking about his pool.
Yeah.
He loves his pool. Right. It was good to see
But
him.
she said that the reason she changed her name to Barbara Siegel,
she found a bird or something,
was because they killed a seagull during that film Last Summer.
Is that what it was?
And that's why she decided to do that.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
So she took the name of the bird.
Right. So
okay, well, she's Barbara Hershey again.
Yeah. Right.
Because her agent convinced her.
And so as far as Julius Vrooder is concerned, you haven't seen it in many years. It's not out on DVD. Playboy did produce it with Hefner,
But didn't 20th Century Fox?
Yeah, they might have done.
They put their stamp on it.
I think so. Yeah. And was it a big hit?
I don't think so.
No.
I think once they put me in that hot dog,
yeah,
it was like, none of this makes any sense.
Yeah. Would you like to see it again?
I have it in a box.
Oh, we do.
Probably somewhere in there.
Is it in like a
probably a VHS
on tape? Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay.
If I have it.
My friend Paul Friedman, who's in charge of promotions at CBS, said, I saw it not too long ago. And I said, for God's sake, I can't find it anywhere. Yeah.
He saw it on television?
He did.
I should be getting $25 from the SAG then.
Yeah. I don't know if he saw it on television or where he saw it, but I'll ask him again. But he was kind of interested in the whole thing. He was interested in what you were doing, and I've been telling him. And I told him I was going to visit you.
Get a residual enough to buy a beer.
Right. Yeah.
Usually the residuals, the postage is usually more. Well, it is.
Yeah, I get a few myself. They're pretty much the same. Like, I think for my last book,
I wonder why in the hell do they print out 25 cents?
For like $25.
Why do they do that? No, 22 cents. Why do they do that?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm hoping that that Mr. Hefner, in all due deference to his greatness, will invite us all to the mansion and let us see this film again, including Barbara Hershey.
He's like 83, 84
He's
now.
in good shape, though.
Is he?
And
Is he?
He's very hands-on. The guy does, lots.
I thought his daughter was in charge of the whole outfit.
She isn't anymore, I don't think. But he does lots and lots of things with the magazine. He still does letters to the editor, and he does. He looks at the cartoons and things like that. So. And he lives very close to me,
Oh, Charing Cross?
Yeah, that's right. So that's how I was able to find his home.
You just gotta listen for all those weird animals that he's got.
And he sent a really nice little letter back, which is the way he is. He doesn't ignore people.
Good.
He's learned through life, unlike Larry Flint, who I also work with.
Larry.
You ever meet him?
No, but I was hanging out with...
Actually, I like Larry. But he's just a little paranoid as he might be, when he gets
stuck
shot
in that chair,
spine.
too, right?
Yeah.
Larry.
Yeah.
Well, he's the smuttier side of the business.
Right. A little dirtier.
Yeah, he likes those girls with their legs open, holding their labias open, as opposed to,
right.
the mystery of what she's sitting on.
True. Yeah. The hot dog has a different meaning to Larry Flint.
Yeah. I'll never understand that.
But you never met him. Did you meet the guy who ran Penthouse?
No, Bob Guccione?
Bob Guccione.
He died or was killed or something,
I think so.
No, I never met any of those guys. The closest I got to it was hanging out with Veronica Hart.
Oh, who's that?
Jane Hamilton. She was a porn star back in the very beginning. She, Linda Lovelace, and the gal who died several years ago.
Anna Nicole Smith?
No, she wasn't a porn star like these gals. These gals were good.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I got to know Jane on a film I did, who was a producer who produced everything for Penthouse.
Mm.
And she gave up acting as a porn star 27 years ago, and we became friends and lovers, and she opened my eyes to that whole business. So I kind of hung around with her for a while.
It's like the number 2 business in California, pornography.
Oh, they make way more money than motion picture
Right.
business.
Yeah,
they make billions of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all in the San Fernando Valley.
Yeah, Hustler published some of my stories, actually. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So she she was great. I enjoyed, and I was with her while her dad was dying, and she was with me when Sam was dying.
Wow, how
So
interesting.
we kind of helped each other through. But she was so free, so much fun. She kind of reminds me of Brenda a little bit, but Brenda's got a little more together,
And
isn't
she's
part of
South
that world.
African.
She's very cool.
She is.
She's tough. What's the matter?
Okay,
Are you guys upset or something?
cut it right there.